What's going on YouTube? Chino here and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another Pokemon Quest video for you guys, but today we're going to be talking about the IV stats within your Pokemon. Now at first I didn't really realize that Pokemon Quest really mattered in terms of the IV stats, but boy was I wrong. Now when it comes to the middle of the game, I still will recommend that you're going for the Pokemon with the ideal one move slot that you can attach to 3 move stones to, and then you're teaching it that move that really matters to the Pokemon, but also you're going for the bingo bonuses that really help with that move as well. But throughout the end of the game, it really does start to matter, and especially when you're unlocking the later levels of cooking pots, what type of IV stats you're going for. And certainly when you get to the Happenstance Island area of the game, you really are looking at the min-maxing sort of part of the game, and cooking from your gold level pot makes a massive difference in terms of the base IV stats that you can get for your Pokemon, and in the end that makes a difference to the times of your runs, makes a difference to the damage you're doing, the damage you can take, and it really makes a pretty big difference to your end game, definitely. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be jumping into the game. We're going to look at what the difference in IV stats are, how you can actually min-max your Pokemon to get the best out of that, but also what the difference in IV stats you can get out of each level cooking pot. Let's jump into it. Alrighty ladies and gents, this is the Pokemon Quest IV calculator, and this is actually the one that I found on Reddit, and this is what turned me around into realizing there is such a substantial difference between your lower level cooking pots and your higher level ones in terms of how your IV stats come out. So what you're seeing in front of you is I've got Machop up on the screen, and I've got him at level 100, and I'm showing his maximum hit points at a bronze cooking pot level, and I'm showing his maximum attack at a gold cooking pot level, and you can see the massive differential between the stats there. I've selected Machop because he's kind of that mid-range Pokemon that usually a lot of people go for, because it's the easiest way to get the advantage of Bulk Up, which is essentially still the best move in the game, and Machop will actually take you through to the end game. So this is what it's going to look like if you leveled your Machop up from a brass level cooking pot all the way to level 100, but also what the stats might look like if you leveled your Machop up from level 100 from a gold cooking pot. And you can see there is a substantial difference between the two, and this is exactly what I've been talking about within the game. Now, since this IV calculator has been so helpful for me, I will put a link for it in the description for you guys as well. But also keep in mind that Machop here is not evolved yet. And the reason why I bring that up is because when you do evolve your Pokemon, you will get a small boost to your IV stats as well. So taking this all the way up to a Machamp will definitely change the differences there. And I'm just quickly showing you now how the attack looks when I drop it all the way down to a brass pot, so you get an idea of what those differences are in the IV stats between your gold cooking pot and your brass cooking pot. And it does go down quite dramatically. You can see it's already very significantly reduced. And just from that you can see that the difference between brass and gold is massive just in the base IV stats, and this is based on 100% best you can possibly get out of those pods. So this isn't going to be enough for me. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the game, we're going to throw some recipes into a low level pot and a higher level pot, and hopefully get the same Pokemon out of them, and then we're going to take those and compare them, and we're going to take the stats to the IV stats calculator, and we're going to see how dramatic the difference is as well. Alright, so what I've decided to do now is go for the Ambrosia recipe, and I've done one for brass and one for gold, and we're going to hope to get the same Pokemon out of both of them. For me, the most common Pokemon I get out of the Ambrosia of Legends is the Mewtwo Pokemon, and hopefully I can get myself a Mewtwo Pokemon out of both of these cooking pots. Well, as Lady Luck would have it, we don't get the Mewtwo that we're looking for, but let's see what we get out of the gold cooking pot. Hopefully we can still get a Mewtwo, and maybe I can just cook a brass and try and get some more Mewtwo out of that one. And it's a double Mewtwo, which is pretty good actually. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and cook some brass cooking pots, because I've now got the 2 gold Mewtwo's to compare the IV stats with, and I figure if I get 1 brass as well out of the next couple of cooking pots, then we'll be able to take this to the IV stats calculator, and we'll be able to compare a few different Pokemon of the same type out of different cooking pots and see what the IV stats actually come up with. Alright, back with some brass, and we're going to see the results here. Hopefully I get both Mewtwo, that'd be great. 2 brass Mewtwo, 2 gold Mewtwo, that'd be fantastic. Let's see how we go. And of course, we all know how Lady Luck and RNGs this is. Zapdos it is. Let's try one more time, we'll give it another go. I've got a Moltres and a Zapdos out of the last 4. And it's another Mewtwo, fantastic. So we've got 3 Mewtwo's to compare to. This is a win, I will say, and we're going to now go to the IV stats calculator and see how it goes. Alright ladies and gents, so we jumped back into the IV calculator and I have typed in the stats of my first gold cooking pot Mewtwo. He was a level 83, I've typed in the 943 hit points and the 1207 attack, and the results, as you can see down here, means it's a total of 42% gold. Only 10% in the hit points for gold and 74% in the gold for attack. Now if this particular Mewtwo came from a bronze or a brass or a silver, something lower, those stats would still be a lot lower even than the 10% there. But let's go to the other Mewtwo and we'll test out what those stats are as well. 97, and the stats were 1037 and 1196. And this creates a gold of 90% in the hit points and 49% in attack, which takes it to a total of 69.5% gold. That's not too terrible, and considering it's already a level 97, I think teaching it a bulk up move would be quite substantial at this stage. But if we took that down, we took those stats down to the brass, so that's a 90% gold at 1037, and it was a 90%, so if we go 90% brass instead of 90% gold, that's a substantial change. From 1037, that takes it all the way down to 656, just from cooking it from a different pot. Let's type in our low level Mewtwo, and we'll see what that had. That was a level 2 Mewtwo, and it was 559. Oops. It was 559 and 759. This is a 70% brass Pokemon, and those are your statistics there for level 2. So if we leveled this all the way up to level 100, and you took it to 70%, it's not really that much of a dramatic change, is it? So there you have it guys, this is actual proof that the IV calculator is something within Pokemon Quest, and that cooking with different level cooking pots actually makes a difference. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I hope it was helpful. If you have a second, please leave a thumbs up, and until next time, I'll see you then.